In the ritual of Baphomet, the transgender, to show allegiance to him, you had to kiss his ass ring.
People sold their souls to Diddy. And then they're mad now because the hazing process was a little bit rougher than they thought.
Y'all, Diddy just put Katt Williams on blast for leaking disturbing evidence of his satanic rituals to the entire world. Just as we were trying to recover from his Club Shay Shay episode, Katt put us all on the edge of our seats again with an explosive interview with Joe Rogan. Baby, Katt exposed Hollyweird for its satanic rituals involving Baphomet, and allegedly, one of the people who regularly perform these rituals is Diddy. Word on the street is Katt might be about to leak actual footage of one of these rituals. Sources are now saying Katt might actually be in danger because Diddy is about to send some goons after him to silence him for good. But did Katt really expose Diddy's alleged satanic rituals? And is Diddy really trying to end him for going too far with this one? Let's break it down. So Katt Williams had the world in a chokehold when he spilled some major tea on half the entertainment industry during his Club Shay Shay interview a couple of months ago. And when Shannon Sharpe asked him if he wasn't afraid of the backlash from these powerful people he was calling out, here's what he said. Baby, Katt must have really meant what he said because he's been standing on business since then. Katt recently sat with Joe Rogan for another explosive interview where he shaded the entire industry again. Now, Katt previously told us that y'all's favorite celebrities are paid by the higher-ups to push certain agendas and ignore other pressing issues. He backed up that statement in his most recent interview, where he said the whole point of Hollywood is to push the government's propaganda.
Whole industries can be built upon your ability to know how certain things are going to hit certain people. And this was before we called things promotion and marketing. You know what I mean? That's Hollywood is not really there to entertain you. Like, that's great that that happens. But propaganda is something that is important to all civilizations.
If you think about it, you can see how, for example, many of the movies about the military or wars try to push pro-military propaganda and whitewash violence, just to let you know how seriously the government takes this thing. Did y'all know that government agencies like the CIA have departments set up specially to review movie scripts before they get produced? Take movies like the Oscar-nominated Zero Dark 30, for example. During the production of Zero Dark 30, the CIA was allegedly actively involved and even provided some suggestions on how to make the movie represent their interests. But Katt wasn't done just yet. He then dived into how certain figures in Hollywood participate in rituals honoring Baphomet. To give you some context, Baphomet originated a few centuries ago and was originally a deity that the Knight Templars were accused of worshipping that later became incorporated into various occult and Western esoteric traditions. That's how we came to know Baphomet as the god of the Illuminati, or 666. Baphomet has always been presented with binary features: half human, half animal, half male, half female, half good, half bad. Well, according to Katt, the reason for this is that Baphomet is supposedly a representation of the trans agenda, and it's all linked to the dress-wearing agenda for men in Hollywood. He also described the sacrifices performed to honor Baphomet, and the way he described it sounded very similar to the alleged gay rituals Diddy performs at his parties.
I had seen that word transgender was Baphomet, the transgender. And so I knew that in the ritual of Baphomet, the transgender, to show allegiance to him, you had to kiss his ass ring.
Really?
And it said both of those things. So I knew that both of those things would become popular in the future. And that somehow calling people the goat would be normalized over the sheep being always the most popular reference.
Honestly, when it comes to Diddy, Katt has had a lot to say about him in the past. We all remember how, just a few months ago, Katt revealed how he had to walk away from $50 million 4 times because he didn't want Diddy to recruit him into his gay cult. However, it seems like there have been other male celebrities who didn't have the opportunity to say no to Diddy, or just didn't care to. Take Orlando Brown, for example. Orlando once did an interview with Cam Capone where he talked about the controversial Balenciaga ad campaign and what panda eyes really mean.
You ever heard of Panda? Like I was telling you, Panda. So you got Panda
Not
is a
really.
panda is a secret code for a certain thing. And so when it comes down to that certain thing, it's so what it is you basically have a certain nerve in your rectum, and if you touch that nerve, you can turn a person into an animal, you can turn a person into whatever you want them to be if you just hold them down. So pretty much when you see black eyes like Blueface and shit like that, he got beat up, but he didn't get beat up where you thought he got beat up. He got beat up somewhere else, okay? And so the eyes come out, and they call them panda eyes.
Now, what does this all have to do with Diddy? Well, in a recent interview with Cam Capone, Orlando talked about how Diddy was the leader of the Illuminati, which he weirdly referred to as his family. What's even more interesting is when Orlando talked about something called hazing, which is some sort of humiliation ritual that recruits have to go through before they can become full-fledged members of the Illuminati.
Diddy, you know Diddy?
Diddy,
One of my best friends,
Okay.
right? Okay. So when you want to be a Kappa and you get hazed, didn't you want to be a Kappa? You wanted to be a Kappa, right?
I want to be a Kappa.
No, I'm just saying. To the person that wanted to be a Kappa.
Oh, okay.
You want to be Kappa. You want to be Alpha, whatever the it is, okay? We're going to haze you and haze you and haze you until you are a Kappa. That's what happened. People sold their souls to Diddy. And then they're mad now because the hazing process was a little bit rougher than they thought.
Then, the interview got even more disturbing when Orlando talked about how Diddy had been performing this ritual on Cassie because she supposedly wanted to join the Illuminati, and that the only reason why she sued Diddy was that the hazing got too rough on her.
You glad that you got away with $3 million? Be happy. No, don't you stop me. Be happy you got away with $3 million. I don't give a what you told the cameras. You wanted to be Illuminati. You wanted the big cars and you wanted to get pimped for it. So don't blame him for giving you what you asked for. Because he's still gonna be Diddy at the end of the day.
Orlando got much backlash after this video because we've all seen Cassie's lawsuit, and I don't think that's something anybody would get into voluntarily. Some said he was chasing clout, crazy, or even high on something. However, others were saying Orlando might have been one of Diddy's victims, and that everything he's saying now is a cry for help. I mean, he did once say on camera that Diddy gave him the oosh gash muash. That interview fueled rumors that Diddy had lured Orlando into one of his gay rituals, and that's why Orlando seemed to be losing his mind and going through all sorts of mental health crises. Things got even darker recently when footage of Orlando making some wild comments started going around on the internet. In the footage, Orlando lists some of the men he has slept with in the industry.
We made love. We made love.
Who you made love with?
Diddy, Bow Wow, Busta Rhymes.
You just told me you seen Busta in the airport too. That motherfucker tried to act like he didn't know you. You smashed Drake?
No, I never smashed.
Oh, you made love to Drake.
And Katt Williams.
Bro, you smashing a lot of people.
What's that nigga name? Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard. Usher. Usher's a gusher. And
Why you not naming no hoes?
I'm telling you, bro. It's my dad's friends. My dad sent his baddest friends on me.
Who's your dad?
Lucifer.
Now, we can all chalk this up to Orlando's typical crazy talk, but with everything else coming out about Diddy, y'all might want to start paying attention to what this guy is saying. We can't even exhaust the list of young men Diddy has allegedly recruited to these cults. And you know the wildest part? It's been right in front of our eyes the whole time. Didn't Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, tell us about Diddy's solstice parties a few years ago? According to Gene, Diddy and other cult members attend these parties on a specific date and pay homage to certain idols. When they're done, they fest, and the men engage in something that sounds a lot like freak-off sessions.
And because it landed on 12/12 at 12, that's when ritual sacrifices and prayers and everything was given to certain idols. And on the third day, they drank, they be married and be happy, and the men would give gifts to each other and have sex with each other.
Now, according to publicly available information, Kim's birthday is December 15th, the same day Diddy supposedly holds this ritual. Are y'all starting to connect the dots? I mean, we've all heard the speculations that Kim's death wasn't exactly as straightforward as we were led to believe. Official reports say she died of complications arising from her pneumonia. However, fans never bought that story, and some believed she was taken out for knowing something about Diddy that she shouldn't have known, because the coroner's report also said that Kim had no known medical history other than recent flu-like symptoms. Now hold on a minute while we hear what Jaguar Wright had to say about Kim's death.
Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died. It was ruled a homicide, and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know, they have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms. And
Jaguar then added that Kim was writing a book when she passed away, and that book would have exposed Diddy, so naturally he didn't want her to release the book. Isn't it crazy that Kim wasn't the only one who suffered the same fate around Diddy? However, there have also been speculations that Diddy was using Kim to engage in some sort of rituals that kept her under Diddy's control. Sloan Bella, who went viral last year for accurately predicting some of the things that later went down, is the surviving Diddy fiasco. According to Sloan, Diddy practices some really dark rituals that involve sacrificing both men and women for their light. Now, just because a celebrity medium said something doesn't mean it's true or anyone should believe it. But when you have multiple people telling the same stories, that's something that you just gotta pay attention to. We've all heard about Diddy's infamous parties and the supposed gay rituals that take place there. Even Cassie talked about how Diddy used to meticulously organize these freak-off sessions down to the tiniest details, from the way the candles are arranged to the color of the lingerie she wears and the color of her nails. He even makes them wear masks. If that isn't giving ritual, I don't know what is. And according to Gene Deal, Cassie was not the only one freaking out in them freak-off sessions. Diddy was right there, getting down and dirty with the male escorts. Child, you know what this sounds like? Like Diddy doing the same thing he did with Kim to Cassie. Y'all, if word on the street is anything to go by, then Katt needs to start watching his back, because Diddy is about to handle him the way he handles people who speak on his name. Sources are saying that with everything else Diddy is currently facing, the last thing he needs to be dealing with is blabbermouth Katt spilling more tea on him. And this one about them sacrifices really hit a nerve, because it could potentially lead to a whole lot more dirt being revealed about Diddy. As usual, fans are standing solid behind Katt Williams and waiting patiently for the day Puffy gets to face the consequences of his actions. One fan said, "I have nothing but love for this dude. He's already rich, and it would be a whole lot easier for him to sit back, keep his mouth shut, and live a perfectly comfortable life. And yet he still puts himself at risk to give us further confirmation of the things we have long suspected to be true. We need more people like him." Katt is definitely telling the truth. It's way too much evidence that backs it up. I hope that Honeycomb pays for his actions. And then this person said, "Don't be surprised when they take out Katt like they did Joan Rivers and Prodigy from Mobb Deep for speaking the truth." But now I want to know what y'all think about Katt Williams exposing Diddy and his pals for their satanic rituals. Do you think he's really gone too far this time? Comment down below and check out this next video.